Hi, part threes. It is Monday, July the 22nd, and we're starting our last week, our module faith. And I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I know a lot of you have. You've told me, but I know we're all ready for a rest. We want that summer Sabbath, and we need some time to let this digest and to get ready for our next school year. And you guys are going in as specialists, and we talked about, the laity being instrumental in moving this church forward in Catholic education, and that's going to be you guys, right? So I hope this has given you a lot of information to help you to feel empowered to take this kind of to another level. But remember, when you go back to your schools, a lot of what you can do could be modeled through just who you are. You don't necessarily have to go and tell people how to do things or, preach the word to them, so to speak, right? That's not what we're called to do. We're called to model through our lives. And I love the quote attributed to St. Francis, preach the gospel every day, but use words only when necessary. So hopefully when you go back into your schools, people will notice something different about you, but they won't quite know what it is. That's the way we're supposed to kind of operate. So I hope this has given you that courage and that strength to move forward and to feel strong in your faith leadership in your schools. Okay, so stay tuned to information that's going to be coming your way this week in regards to how we're going to wrap up the course and what goes beyond the course in terms of paperwork. I'll send all that to you guys in an email. But when we're looking at faith, I just love this. We kind of go full circle. We started, with scripture, our love story, and we're ending with Parker Palmer. And Palmer, is kind of that allowing us to process the word that's within us, the story that's within us. And I love this because God puts everything we need into us. But how do we pull it out? How do we process it? It really takes intentionality upon our part, right? We need to go in deep. We need to find the voice of God within us because it's there. God has already given us the direction we need. But we just have to find that courage and that strength. And this is what Parker Palmer does. I love this. It's like my trainer. I just love her because we work out and she always tells me, you got 40% left in you. I'm sweating. I'm dying. Where's that 40%? And then I find it because I've got someone there telling me I've got 40% left, that I can do more, that this can do more. There's more in me. And this is what God's telling us. There's 40% left in there. Just when you think you've exhausted everything and you don't know how to go deeper, it's there. Dig deep. God's our trainer, right? So let your life speak. Hopefully you will really enjoy it. It's not a very big book, but it's packed. It'll really make you think, and maybe you'll share it with other people in your lives. But what I love, what Parker Palmer has given us, are the boundary markers, and I'll forward this to you guys. And when I trained to be courage to serve, because in Canada it's courage to serve, in the States it's courage to teach, in Australia it's courage to be. We really had to learn to use these boundary markers. And I love these. Like, I think they're great for just humanity. I think they're great for relationships. They're great for the classroom, not just for this process. And so Parker gives us the first boundary marker, which is 100% present. And today, more than ever, this is such an important boundary marker because today now we're just like filled with stuff. We're not present to anything. There's noise everywhere. There's distractions. That little bing on our phone, even though we've kind of put it in silence and put it away, our brain goes right there. I was in the movies last night and I heard it, and it was like it took everything in me, not just to pick it up and say, oh, what was that? So we're right in there, right? But in terms of 100% present when you're sitting and talking to someone, even before all these electronic distractions, there were things to take us away from conversations. We're hearing people speak, but we're not fully listening because our minds might be going somewhere else. We might be thinking about, oh my gosh, what do I need to do today? Or when's this person going to stop? Because I have even a better story to add to what they're saying. And so you're not even really listening. You're just waiting for that opening so you can come in and swoop in and take the conversation into where you want it to go. Okay? So being present, the art of listening is something we need to be intentional with today. We need to work on it. We need to want to do this. And boy, this will improve our relationships and how we are as with each other. Space for silence is another boundary marker. This is a tough one. I remember when we first did this, wow, sitting, with a group of people and just sitting there and not saying anything was brutal. But I've gotten used to it. I think it's an excellent exercise. And I've done this with kids on retreat. I've done silent lunches. They're awesome. They actually do it, but it's hard to sit there and eat and not say anything and just kind of chew and look at people. It's weird, but it's an excellent exercise. And monks have done this for years. There's a reason for it, right? But the space for silence when you're with a group of people, it's awesome because for the shy soul, like I'm an introvert, right? I'm extroverted in my professional life, but personally I'm an introvert. So when I'm in a big group of people, I will become very quiet. After a really large, busy kind of evening, party, whatever, I'll need to retreat and regenerate myself in quiet, whereas extroverts need that energy to regenerate, right? So just to get the difference there. So the space for silence is excellent because the shy soul sometimes takes a moment to kind of come out. And when you're sitting in silence and giving that person the time to finish their thought or take a moment to breathe and just allow things to settle, it's such a gift without just jumping in, pouncing in and taking the conversation away and moving it in another direction and not allowing what's inside the person to come out because it's just been taken away. It's been ripped away. Being very dramatic here. Soft eyes is another boundary marker. We speak with our eyes, we speak with our body language. We don't have to say words. When people start talking, we start judging right away. Oh, what are they talking about? What the heck is this? Right? Allow the whole story to finish. Get a perspective of where the person's coming from before you start judging. Soft eyes. Turn to wonder. No fixing. We're fixers. We're teachers. We got our toolbox. Boom. Let's go. Let's do it. What's wrong? Okay. Boom. Da da da. Let's go on. Right? And we can't always do that. So what I love about this process is sitting with people, and this is taken from the Shaker community tradition, what Parker models this on, about sitting together in community, being present to one another, and allowing the person with the issue to bring out what's within them and to find what's within them to fix it, so to speak, because you can fix yourself, right? Because it's all within us, right? So the no fixing is it takes real conscientious thought process, right? Because when we're listening to someone fully, we don't want to just come in and say, this is how you're going to do it. We need to come in with open-ended questions. Ask them how they feel about it. Ask them to maybe to continue to talk about a certain point. Can you expand on that? Or how did you feel about that? Or where do you see this going? What options do you see before you? Okay, so we're not closing the conversation to take them in a direction and say, boom, this is the way it's going to be done. We're opening it to more thought. We're allowing the person to go deeper within to find the answers within. Always invitational is another boundary marker. You should never force people to speak if they're not ready. Deep double confidentiality. Trust is paramount to anything. But when you're sharing your life, your story is sacred. Keep it sacred. Keep that confidence, because when trust is broken, it is so hard to get it back. I'll send this out to you guys. So as you're journeying in faith this week, I just, it might just kind of seem like, oh, it's just faith, right? We did scripture, we did morality, we did the heavy duty stuff, but this is where things kind of come together. And there's a reflection I always share by John Paul II, and it's called Faith is Demanding. And it is. Faith is demanding. And in that reflection, he says, because it takes us beyond ourselves.